ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिशे नमः। नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्रह्मण्य हिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So this is chapter 14, three modes of material nature. So in the previous chapter we have seen, in the 13th chapter, Krishna has explained about Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnanam, Gyam. Now first of all, this Kshetra and Kshetraga was explained, then Jnanam, Gyam, and lastly Prakriti and Purusha was discussed. So now this Prakriti is made up of three modes, and that thing is explained here in detail. So let us begin. In the first 13 slokas of this chapter, how a soul is conditioned by three modes, that is explained. Conditioning of the soul by three modes. Then from 14 to 18, effect of conditioning by modes. Once we get conditioned, so what is the effect? If one is in mode of goodness, what destination he will attain after death? And so many other things, destination and what are the characteristics, all those things we will see. And then in the last section of this chapter 19 to 27, how to transcend the modes and how to become situated in the Brahma Bhuta or transcendental platform, that thing is explained. Okay, so let us begin. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuya Pravakshami Jnanam Jnanam Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Jajgatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhi Mito Gata. So the Lord is continuing. The Lord already has spoken about this Prakriti and Purusha, right? We have seen already in this chapter 13, Prakriti Purusha, and how we can overcome this. This has been explained. So now Lord is continuing about, he is going into details of this Prakriti, specifically the three modes of material nature. The Supreme Personage of Godhead said, "Again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained supreme perfection." So if we have this knowledge that how we get bound in this material world, then it will be easier for us to cut through the knots and we can come to the level of serving Krishna or the transcendental platform. Idam jnanam upashritya mama sarmyam agatah sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. So if you know this transcendental nature, so when we are taking birth, we have to know that the soul is same, but we are just accepting another body. So that is not real birth, and at the time of death also, that is not real death. So we have to know about this knowledge. Yeah. So then Krishna will explain how we are becoming conditioned by three modes, and when we become conditioned, we think like that. We think this body. on the bodily consciousness we analyze everything. मम जोनिर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं ददाम्यहम् संभवा सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living entities, O son of Bharata. So here Krishna is telling that all the different kinds of living entities, Krishna is the seed giving father. So that will come Aham bija pratapita sarvajoni shukvantaya murtaya sambhavantaya tasam brahma mahajoni raham bija pratapita. So all these living entities, they are also Brahman, like they are also Satchidananda, but they are minute spirit souls. And the Supreme Lord is also Satchidananda, but Supreme Lord is infinite. The living entity is infinitesimal and the Supreme Lord is infinite. That is the difference. But the Supreme Lord is the source of all living entities. So that is explained here. Sarvajonishu panteya murtaya sammavantiya tasam brahma mahajoni raham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So, from Krishna only all these 8.4 million species they came. All the living entities at spiritual sparks, they are part and parcel of Krishna. Now, these spirit souls who are part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna is supremely pure. So how these living entities get caught up into this material world and they are forgetful of their identity and they miserably suffer in this material world? So what is the reason? So an analogy can be given that a fire spark, when it is inside the fire, the fiery qualities are maintained, but when it goes out of the fire, it extinguishes in contact with grass or anything. So like that, the living entity, when it is connected to Krishna, all the Satchidananda qualities are maintained. But when this living entity gets detached from Krishna and comes into the contact of the illusory energy, then immediately the living entity is forgetful of his original Satchidananda qualities. Sattam rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava nivadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, so this is the reason. When the living entity is coming in contact with these three modes, then the problem occurs. O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these three modes. Srila Prabhupada gives another analogy that the rainwater, when it is coming from the clouds, it is pure. But as soon as it touches the soil, it gets muddy. So similarly, the living entity, when they are coming from spiritual world, they are pure. But when they are in contact with this material nature, and specifically they are in contact with the three modes, goodness, passion and ignorance, immediately they are polluted. So that is the reason of our forgetfulness of Krishna and our ignorance. Tatra satyam nirmaladvat prakashakam manamayam sukha sangena vadnanti jnana sangena chanagha. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than others, is illuminating, and it frees one from the sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So how now Krishna is explaining how a living entity gets caught up or bound by these three modes, and the nature of these three modes are different. The way a living entity is the way a living entity is conditioned by mode of goodness will differ from the way a living entity is conditioned by mode of passion or ignorance. So now the mode of goodness is being described. So the persons who are in mode of goodness, they are very much equipoised and they are also conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So like a person in passion or ignorance. So passion and ignorance is considered to be lower modes, and if one is having too much mode of passion and ignorance, then it is difficult for that person to take up spiritual life. So one has to have some percentage of mode of goodness, otherwise that person cannot take up this Krishna consciousness or bhakti. So now, although this mode of goodness is better than the mode of passion and ignorance, still the mode of goodness is also conditioning. Like, you can compare this scenario like in a prison house, you are bound, you are conditioned, you are chained with a golden chain, and in another prison house you are chained with a silver chain, and in another you are chained with iron chain. So now, although this mode of goodness is considered to be like the being bound with golden chain, although you are bound by golden chain, still you are not free, you are bound. So similarly, although this mode of goodness is better than the other modes, but still, if you stay in mode of goodness, that is not enough. You have to again take birth. So therefore, by cultivating devotional service, you have to come to the transcendental platform where there is no influence of the three modes. Then only you can go back to Godhead. So that is wanted. So now we see that how these persons who are in mode of goodness, how they are conditioned. They are conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So they think we are in knowledge, we are happy, and they enjoy a pleasure of mode of goodness. And they do not want to come out of that comfort zone. And therefore, it also is a conditioning. So some people think, well, okay, I'm in mode of goodness and I'm doing well, I'm knowledgeable, I'm happy. If you give some advice to that person will think that, oh, I'm already in knowledge, so I don't need any advice. So this is one negative point. And also he experiences some kind of happiness in mode of goodness. So therefore he experiences the material misery up to some less extent. So therefore the urge to take up Krishna consciousness, sometimes it is not that much prominent in the persons who are in mode of goodness. Still, the rate of persons becoming devotees from mode of goodness is greater than the rate from other modes. So therefore mode of goodness is better, and it is required also to understand the spiritual subject matters. But if you only desire to stay in this mode of goodness, that is not wanted. You have to come to the transcendental platform, which is beyond the three modes. So now Rajoguna. रजोरागत्मकं विद्धि तृष्णसङ्गसमुद्भवं तन्निबध्नन्ति क्वान्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम्. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. So the mode of passion means he has unlimited desires. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, that, and like that. And therefore, the person is completely in passion and working all day and night. So all these things are characteristics of mode of passion. And there is strong fruitive actions. Material means you have strong attachment to the fruits in mode of passion. So now now tamaguna or mode of ignorance. तमस्तु अज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहानं सर्वदेहिनं प्रेमदालस्य निद्राभेश तन्निबध्नन्ति भारत. So what is the characteristic of this mode of ignorance? O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode are madness, indolence and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Means the person will be lazy, he will be intoxicated, and he will be sleeping, so like that. So he is in mode of ignorance. Totally, the mode of passion person is already working all day and night, thinking himself to be the doer. The mode of goodness person is equipped, he do not work that much, he is satisfied with knowledge and happiness, so satisfaction is there. And in mode of ignorance, the person is lazy, intoxicated, sleeping, so like that, and he does not do much work, he is always in depression, like that. सत्तम सुखे संजयति रजकर्माणि भारत ज्ञानमवृत्त तु मोहा तु तमा प्रमादे संजयत्युत. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to fruitive action, and ignorance covering one's knowledge binds one to madness. So this is how the three modes are acting upon different people, and this is the way how they are conditioning people. In the mode of goodness, people are being conditioned by happiness, and in mode of passion they are conditioned by fruitive actions, and in mode of ignorance the true knowledge is covered and one is in madness, intoxicated state. Yeah. Rajastamascha vibhuyam satyam bhavati bharata rajasattam tamaschaiva tamasattam rajastatha. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. So it is not like that I am eternally in mode of goodness or mode of passion or mode of ignorance. According to different circumstances, some modes may become prominent in us. Okay, so all the three modes are present. We are under all the three modes, and according to circumstances, they become prominent in us. But one who is out of the three modes, the modes cannot affect that person. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्यमित्युत. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So we know already that the characteristics of mode of goodness is happiness and knowledge. So all the gates of the body means they are receptors, right? This body is called the city of 9 gates. So therefore in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is telling that there are 9 gates in this body: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, genitals and the anus. When every gate is illuminated by the symptoms of goodness, that means my eating habit, this is rectified and everything. So they are receptors. These 9 gates are actually some kind of, with these 9 gates we can exchange with the outer material world. So when those gates are illuminated by knowledge, so whatever we are intaking, that will be rectified, and our exchange with this material world will be rectified and it will be purified. So if we are in, these 9 gates are illuminated by knowledge, then it is considered that we are in mode of goodness. Like these 2 eyes, we will also see everything with the mode of goodness. Like a person who is in mode of passion, that person will see to the opposite sex with a desire to enjoy, but a person who is in mode of goodness, he will not do. So similarly, when all the gates are illuminated by knowledge, then you are in mode of goodness. Lova prabhritirarambha karmanam asamaspriha rajasyetani jayante vibride bharatarshava. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. So when this is the, previously it was explained that when all our gates are illuminated by knowledge, then we are in mode of goodness. So now the mode of passion, how can we understand we are in mode of passion? The symptoms are that we will have great attachment to the fruits of the work. We will do fruitive activities, intense endeavor. We already know that whatever there is in our destiny, we cannot exceed that. But a person in mode of passion, he thinks that I am the doer and I am the only doer. With hard working, I will do everything. But that is not true. So therefore, intense endeavor is a symptom of mode of passion. And uncontrollable desire. You have so much desire, so much material desire, that it keeps on, it makes you working day and night. And hankering also. So this is the symptoms of mode of passion. Aprakasho pravittischa pramado moh evacha tamashyetani jayante vibride kurunandana. When there is an intense increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kunti, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. So these are the symptoms of mode of ignorance. Darkness. You will be devoid of knowledge. You will be analyzing situation in a very clumsy way. You will not have proper understanding of what situation is. Inertia. You will be lazy. Madness, illusion, intoxication, sleep. These kind of symptoms are there in mode of ignorance. Jada satte pravidyetu pralayam yati dehavrit taduttama vidan lokam amalan pratipadyate. When one dies in the mode of goodness. So now from here onwards it is explained that what is the destination of this, right? So 1 to 13 the conditioning of the soul by three modes. Now 14 to 18 effect of conditioning. This is being explained. So how the modes condition us, that we saw. What are the different symptoms, characteristics of the modes. By analyzing the symptoms we can understand which mode is prominent in us currently. And now Krishna will explain what is the effect. If you are in mode of goodness, what will happen? If you are in mode of passion, what will happen? If you are in mode of ignorance, what will happen? When one dies in mode of goodness, he attains the pure higher planets of the great sages. So see, even if you are in mode of goodness, after death you are not going back to the spiritual world. You will go to the higher planets. And again you have to come back. So this is the thing. So therefore, the cultivating mode of goodness is not sufficient. Mode of goodness is better. In mode of goodness you can understand the spiritual subject matters nicely, and then by cultivating this bhakti yoga you have to come to transcendental platform. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangeshu jayate tatha pralinastamasi mulajonishu jayate. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in the fruitive activities, and when one dies in mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. So if you die in mode of ignorance, you will have adhogati. So your position will be degraded. You are born as a human being currently, you will be born in the next life as animal. And if you die in the mode of passion, you will be taking birth among the persons who are engaged in fruitive activities, because mode of passion means fruitive activities. So therefore you will be taking birth like a human being only, and then you will be engaged in fruitive activities. So these two modes are extremely difficult. So you are becoming a fruitive human being or an animal. So a fruitive human being is as good as an animal because he has no time for spiritual subject matter. So therefore this passion and ignorance is considered to be lower. But if you attain Brahmaloka or like Janaloka by staying in mode of goodness, there you will get the association of some devotees in the higher planetary systems, and there is a chance that by associating with those devotees we will go back to the spiritual world. Therefore the mode of goodness is better, but if you get stuck in the mode of goodness, that is not good. Yeah. Karmana sukritasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajanam ajnanam tamasha phalam. The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in mode of goodness, but action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. So if you are in mode of ignorance, so the result is foolishness. If you are in mode of passion, the result is misery. You will not get happiness. You will think, I am the doer. You will do so much hard work, and the material world, this material world or a Maya Shakti will devastate you in your endeavors. You will not get the desired result, and then that person is completely destroyed. And the person already has done so much hard work, but still when someone does not receive the desired fruits, it is heartbreaking. We see so many suicides and like that. So these are effect of this thing only. And if you are in mode of goodness, the result is pure, and therefore you will get happiness. In mode of passion you will get misery, and mode of ignorance foolishness. Yeah. So now Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam Rajasa Lobha Evacha Pramadamo Tamasho Bhavato Jnanam Evacha. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. So in the previous verse, the results are explained. And now, if you are in mode of goodness, in due course of time, what thing will develop? Real knowledge will develop within you. If you are in mode of goodness for a prolonged period, the knowledge will develop. If you are in mode of passion, greed will develop. That is not good. And if you are in mode of ignorance, it will develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. So you can understand that if you are in passion and ignorance for a longer period of time, negative qualities will develop. If you are in mode of goodness for a longer period of time, positive qualities will develop. And those positive qualities will help you in the spiritual life. So if you are in mode of goodness, you will get some help in spiritual life. But you have to utilize that help. Otherwise, you will get stuck in the mode of goodness only and you cannot make real progress. You cannot come to the transcendental platform. So passion and ignorance are derogatory, but mode of goodness is helpful. But you have to utilize that help. Otherwise, there is no use. Now, there is also the destination is explained again. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्त्व मध्ये तिष्ठति राजस जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थ अधगच्छन्ति तामस. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those are in mode of passion live in the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to hellish worlds. So again the destination is explained. If you are in a mode of goodness, you will go to the higher planetary systems. Like as human beings, we are in Bhuloka. If you cultivate mode of goodness, you will go to upper planetary systems. If you cultivate mode of passion, you will again take birth in earthly planetary systems, Bhuloka only. If you cultivate mode of ignorance, you will go down. So that is the thing. So now from 19 sloka onward, Krishna will explain that how to get rid of these three modes. So first of all, how these three modes condition us, different characteristic symptoms are explained, and then what is the destination and what is the result of staying in the modes, it is explained. Now how to get rid of the three modes. So the whole chapter is only discussing about three modes, how we are conditioned by modes, what is the effect of modes, how to get rid of modes. So therefore the chapter is entitled Three Modes of Material Nature. Nanyam gunevya kartaram jada drishtanupashyati gunevyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than the three modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. So first of all, we have to understand, it is explained in the third chapter also, 27th verse. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankar vimodatma kartahamiti manyate. We have seen in the 13th chapter also the same thing. So the prime concept is, I hope you remember that we are not the doer. The soul only desires, Paramatma sanctions, and the three modes of material nature actually executes. So therefore, the same thing is reiterated here. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than the three modes of nature. That means the three modes of material nature is only executing everything under the supervision of Paramatma. And I am not the doer, I can only desire. So if you properly see this thing, you are out of the modes. And he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all the three modes, he attains my spiritual nature. So when you cultivate this understanding that I am not the doer, the three modes of material nature is the doer, then the business is finished and you already are out of the three modes. Gunanetan atityatrin deha deha dehi deha samudbhavan janmamittu jara dukkher vimukta amritamasnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age and their distresses and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So Krishna is explaining that how if we transcend these are the three modes of material nature. What will happen? We will be free from birth, death, old age and distress, and we will enjoy nectar even in this life, and after this life we will obviously go back to Krishna. So that is nectar already. Arjuna Uvacha. So now Arjuna is asking a question. कैर्लिङ्गस्त्रिन्गुणानेता नतीतो भवति प्रभो किमाचार कथं चाम चैतं त्रिन्गुणान् अतिवर्तते. Arjuna inquired, O my lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the three modes of nature? So Krishna was expecting such questions from Arjuna. Therefore Krishna has told that when you are out of the modes, when you can distinguish that, oh, I am not the doer, I can only desire, Paramatma will sanction, and the three modes is actually doing the work. So when you understand this, you are out of the modes. And if you are out of the modes, you will enjoy nectar in this life and after this life also. So now Krishna was expecting this question from Arjuna that, oh, so when we tell something, if you do this, if you can do this, you will get this. So right, if we tell someone to inspire that if you get into IITs, your future is bright. So naturally the question is expected, how to get into IITs, how to prepare for it, how to crack JEE advanced. So like that Arjuna is asking, when Krishna told that if you are out of the modes, then everything will be nectarian for you. So then usually Arjuna is asking how to transcend these three modes, and how can I understand that a person has transcended the modes. So there are many people in this material world. So what is the symptom by which I can tell, oh, this person is out of the modes, this person is in the modes? So what is the symptom? What is his behavior and how that person has transcended the modes? So now Krishna will explain the different symptoms and how to transcend modes. Here the symptoms are explained. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Krishna is telling, प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहम् एव च पाण्डव न दृष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि नानिवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति उदासीनावदासीनो गुणैर्यो न विचल्यते गुणवर्तन्त इत्येवं जोवतिष्ठति निङ्गते समदुःखसुखस्त्वं समलोष्टस्मकाञ्चन तुल्यप्रियप्रियो धीरस्तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुति मानापमानयोस्तुल्यस्तुल्यमृत्यारिपक्षयो सर्वरंभ परित्यागी गुणातीत स उच्यते. Gunatita sa uchyate. Gunatita means one who is beyond the modes. Sa uchyate. So that person is called, that person is said to be transcended the modes. So what are the characteristics? The Supreme Person of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present. So whether he is in any state, so he has no hatred, means he accepts every situation when they are present or long for them when they disappear. Who is unwavering and disturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active. Who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of material nature. So basically the symptoms are same as Sthita Pragya. If you remember in the second chapter, right, Krishna has spoken about these things when Krishna was telling about the different qualities which endear a devotee to Krishna. So they are also alike. So basically you have to have equal vision, you have to be steady in all conditions, happiness, distress and honor, dishonor. So you have to be beyond the duality and you have to be steady, right, and you will not have any personal attachment to anything. So that person is said to be free from the three modes or beyond the three modes. So now in this 14.26 Krishna, this is a very famous verse. Krishna will tell that how to transcend. Mam choyo vyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So here Krishna is telling bhakti yoga is the only solution, right? One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the three modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So see, Krishna has spoken about many different kinds of yoga methods: Sankhya Yoga, Karma Sannyas, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. But when Krishna is telling that you have to transcend the three modes of material nature and come to the transcendental platform which is expected, which yoga Krishna mentions? No other yoga other than Bhakti Yoga can help you. If you are avyavicharena, means without fail, you are engaged in devotional service, then sa gunan samatitya, then you can overcome or transcend the three modes of material nature and you will be situated in Brahma Bhuta platform, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpa. So now the last sloka of this chapter. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya yavasya cha sasvatasya swadharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is constitutional position of the ultimate happiness. So see, Krishna has told in the previous verse that if you mamjayo vyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So if you are engaging yourself in my devotional service without fail, you will attain the level of Brahman. And now in this sloka, Krishna is explaining what is this Brahman. This Brahman is bodily effulgence of mind. So I am the source of this Brahman. So therefore, if you engage in my devotional service, you will obviously come to the Brahman level and also you will attain my dham. Because I am the source of this Brahman. So if you have to free yourself from the three modes of material nature, you have to engage in my devotional service. So Krishna is telling that directly worship me, you will get everything. You will get my dham also, you will attain Brahman also. But some people like the impersonalists, they only opt for Brahman and therefore they try Jnana Yoga and the process is extremely difficult. So Krishna is saying worship me, you will get into my dham and you will come to Brahman stage also. Brahman means you will be out of the three modes. So if you worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the purposes will be served together. Like a 2000 rupee note contains all the 10 rupee, 20 rupee, 100 rupee, like that. So opt for the highest thing, Bhakti Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, that is also Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Means Bhakti Yoga unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So that is the supreme most thing. If you do that, you will get everything. So here ends the chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, three modes of material nature. We will start chapter 15 in the next class. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.